Alexandra Levine live podcast. Today, we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of her upcoming episodes. If you like what Alexandra talks about, then please share the Alexandra Levine live to others. Alexandra also looks forward to your comments during this episode. Tonight's Alexandra Levine live podcast starts now.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, this is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in with me tonight, Alexandra Levine. We have some major breaking news coming out of Virginia. Let's put up the first slide. So this is a damning story. Former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife himself in Annandale. Police confirmed today. A man and woman were found dead in an Annandale home early this morning. Former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife and then himself in an overnight murder-suicide in Annandale, Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis said. Authorities were called in the 8100 block of Guinevere Drive shortly after midnight Thursday morning. What WUSA 9 crews arrived, police were investigating at 8106 Guinevere Drive, which is owned by the former lieutenant governor. Davis said Fairfax shot his wife, Celine Fairfax, several times before shooting and killing himself. Now, my question to my audience is, why the hell did he do this? Why is this happening? I mean, we're hearing all of these stories of parents killing their kids, and big name celebrities getting murdered by their children. But this is a lieutenant governor, a former lieutenant governor, who was, as I read, going through a very bad divorce with his wife. They were actually living in the home together, just in separate rooms. They have 2 children. And the guy just, I don't know, woke up this morning and said, I think I'm going to kill my wife today, and I'm going to kill myself. Maybe they had a brouhaha, maybe they had a brawl. There were some reports that there was another person in the house as well. But this is an unbelievable story. It's a sad story. And the fact that he did this with his kids in the house is more asinine to me. One of his sons came down and saw both of his parents dead, cold blood, and called 911 right away. And for a child to find out that their father killed their mother and then killed himself, I mean, that's going to haunt those children forever. I feel bad for those children. I feel bad for the family of the wife and for the family of the former lieutenant governor. But this is crazy. It's a crazy story. And I don't know how bad their divorce settlement was going to be. Maybe she was going to take him to the cleaners. Maybe there was stuff on him. I don't know. But we're going to further investigate this. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable story coming out this morning. And we have second breaking news, my good friend David Harris Jr. So David Harris Jr. wrote, breaking, impeachment effort against Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison blocked in deadlock 88 vote. Minnesota House Rules Committee ties along party lines. Republicans push for accountability over massive fraud scandals feeding our future, billions in Medicaid/child care losses, and Democrats shut it down. Walz skates free as he limps to the end of his term. No removal, no real consequences. Taxpayers foot the bill. This is what one-party protection looks like. This is disgusting. Republicans don't protect their people like this. There's major fraud out of Minnesota. We all know about this. President Trump, he just put Vice President J.D. Vance in place as the head of finding out all about this fraud. And it's not just fraud in Minnesota, it's fraud nationwide. But for Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison to just limp on by, or skate free, and limp to the end is disgusting to me. It's disgusting. And these people should be held accountable. They should be going to jail. Impeachment, screw that. They need to go to jail. And I hope that J.D. Vance gets the evidence and finds the evidence to put these idiots in jail with the Attorney General, whoever that's going to be. We don't have a new Attorney General yet. But I'm tired of these Democrats getting away with their deceitfulness, with the fraud, with their corruption, with their lies. As I've said on this program many times, Democrats and rhinos are detriments to our nation, and they should be held accountable. Remember what the Democrats screamed, no one is above the law? Well, neither are these idiots. And Keith Ellison is a dangerous man. He's a part of the Nation of Islam that's run by Louis Farrakhan. He's in bed with terrorists, loves Ilhan Omar, put her in there, would love to have a bunch of Somali terrorists in his city, in his state. And he's disgusting. And he's a liar and a fraud. And he does not support the American people's interest at heart. He's a big anti-Semite. And he hates white people too, by the way. And he hates Christians. So it's time to get these anti-Semites out of office and out of our country. Or if they're American citizens, they need to be put in jail forever and get the death penalty, if there's a death penalty in the state, or tried in a state that does have the death penalty. Because these people keep getting away with a lot of bad stuff. And we're tired of it. President Trump is tired of it. J.D. Vance is tired of it. Marco Rubio is tired of it. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Now, moving on to segment one. So segment one focuses on the elections in Hungary. What does this mean for NATO? As you know, Hungary is a NATO ally. The president has been calling out NATO allies, such as Spain and France, that don't give a damn about the American people. They've turned socialists. They love socialism. They don't believe in capitalism. You got George Soros money pumping into these countries. It's sick and it's sad. And as you know, I have a very strong connection to Budapest. I love Budapest. I was in Budapest. I had the pleasure of meeting with Deputy Secretary of State, Marton Grozdi, and I reached out to him recently. And I was a big favorite of Viktor Orban. And as you know, President Trump, he retruthed an endorsement to Viktor Orban. J.D. Vance went to Hungary just a few days before the election, April 7th through 8th, to give praise to Viktor Orban and what he's done and how he's kept his country safe. And it's very sad that the people voted for something that they were told was a good thing, such as allowing the EU to take over, allowing Brussels, Belgium to take over, pushing them to give aid to Ukraine. There's $90 billion being on hold. And for the EU to threaten the new prime minister who's coming in 30 days or less than 30 days, and tell him if he's not on board with the EU, they're going to hold up money for him in the country. And they want him to have open borders, and they want him to burn the economy of Hungary. Now, Viktor Orban has been in power for 16 years there, and he is not going anywhere. He's going to be very loud still and try to protect the people of Hungary and do what he can behind the scenes. But this new guy, Peter Manjar, he's actually fooling the EU and so forth. I mean, George Soros pumped in a lot of money into this campaign. And Obama praised it. Ursula von Leyen praised it. She's the head of NATO. Or not NATO, I'm sorry, she's the head of the EU. They all praise this man because they think that he's going to ruin Hungary, and they're all loving it. But it's turning out that maybe their plans backfired. That maybe this guy is not as radical as they were hoping. That maybe he's a center-right guy or even more right than Orban. He worked under Orban until he branched off and joined this other party. And this guy's come out and said, I'm actually going to make the border stronger, build a bigger wall, combat illegal immigration. I'm not giving in to the EU. They're not getting a dime from me. I'm not sanctioning anything. Not helping out Ukraine. Now, he did call for the removal of the Hungarian president, which a lot of people did not agree with. And we'll investigate further into why he did. But the way he's talking, he doesn't sound as radical as what Obama wanted. But the guy hasn't been sworn in yet, so we'll see what he does. But he was also on a big network in Hungary. He said, I've been trying to get on your network for a year and a half. Now that I won the election, now I'm on there, and you've been bashing me and bashing my family for a year and a half. And guess what? I'm going to investigate you and your network, and we're going to make sure that you don't spew out fake news and that you're a factual network. We're going to do a lot of investigating into your network. And he said this right on the network live. That's like President Trump going on CNN and saying, you guys have been horrible to me for 10 years, and we're going to investigate your network. It's the same thing. So my question to my audience is, do you trust this new prime minister going in there? Do you think that he has good intentions? Do you think that it was kind of a ploy or a plot to put him in there, making Obama and everybody think that he was this far left guy when actually he's not far left at all? He actually supports a lot of Viktor Orban's policies and will actually take it a step further. That's what a lot of the reports are coming out, that it was a strategy by Viktor Orban to put him in there because he knew that George Soros and all these evil Democrats in the United States were pushing for this Mondra guy. So let's put up the first slide. So the first slide talks about, and this one actually touched me. He said, in the name of all true patriots in Europe, I want to thank you for 16 years of continued service, dedication, courage, and excellence. At Viktor Orban, you may have lost these elections, but the exemplary way you protected Hungary and its people from the despotic globalists in Brussels will always be admired and remembered by true European patriots everywhere. Let's put up the next slide. So this is by Ursula von der Leyen. She is the head of the EU. She wrote, Hungary has chosen Europe. Europe has always chosen Hungary. A country reclaims its European path. The union grows stronger. Hungary has chosen Europe. Europe has always chosen Hungary. A country returns to its European path. The union grows stronger. Does it? According to Mr. Manjar, it's not going to. Let's put up the next slide. So this is by Arsen Ostrowski. He said, whatever one's views on the politics of Viktor Orban, two facts are undeniable. Under his leadership, Hungary became the safest place in Europe for Jews, which is true. And he was an unflinching supporter of Israel, which is also true, unwavering in his solidarity with the Jewish state, and fearless in standing up to the hordes of the European Union and the United Nations. This we will never forget. Thank you. And I can tell you, when I went to Budapest, I felt super safe. And I didn't feel like I needed a firearm with me. And I went to all the Jewish areas, majority of synagogues, majority of the kosher restaurants on the Pest side of Budapest. And when I met Mr. Jagrozdi, he talked about how he wishes that the Hungarian people did something during the Holocaust, because in Hungary during that time, they wiped out the Jews right away. And the Hungarian people, majority of them, they are, there's no free Palestine or from the river to the sea rallies or events. They don't allow that. And I hope that the new prime minister doesn't allow that either. Now, the new prime minister said that there will be a CPAC Hungary next year. So that was actually like eye-opening for me too, because if this new prime minister was so far left, he wouldn't have a CPAC in his country. So again, more reports are coming out that this new prime minister isn't as radical as Obama was hoping. And maybe the people of Hungary got duped, or maybe the people of Hungary knew that this Mondra guy wasn't so bad and they voted for him anyway. I mean, everybody's about new leadership and change and so forth. They wanted to change out of 16 years of leadership. But if the people of Hungary really were hoping for a guy that, was going to turn their country socialist and anti-Semitic and so forth, they need to move to another country. Let's go to the next slide. So this was after Manjar won. So Elon Musk says Soros' organization has taken over Hungary after election results. So Alex Soros is the son of George Soros. He said the people of Hungary have taken back their country, a resounding rejection of entrenched corruption and foreign interference. And then Elon Musk wrote, Soros' organization has taken over Hungary. As you know, George Soros is from Hungary. He's anti-Jew. And Viktor Orban and many others wouldn't allow George Soros to come back into his country. I hope that Peter Manjar won't allow George Soros to enter Hungary and become a citizen of Hungary again, or dual citizenship or whatever, because anything that George Soros touches turns to hell. And George Soros, as we know, is a communist, socialist, Marxist. He believes in everybody just making the same amount and having the same health care and living and relying off the government. Not good. You don't want that. Not at all. Not at all. So let's go to the next slide. So this one, Mariana, this was, of course, after Orban was defeated. She wrote, "Welcome to the new Hungary, where migrants will live off your taxes, rape your women with no consequences. Your hard-earned money will be gone to Ukraine, and your children will, quote, trans without your consent." If Viktor Orban was the last man standing, Hungary, you don't know how good you had it, and you won't know until it's too late. This is a loss for Europe and Christian civilization as a whole. And I felt that way too. When Viktor Orban lost, I felt exactly this way. I was very nervous for the country of Hungary. I was like, oh my God, can I go there again? I was scared for the people. But like I said, reports are coming out that this guy Manjar is not as bad, but he hasn't been sworn in yet, hasn't gotten his feet wet. So we'll have to judge for ourselves. So this last slide, this is what really kind of changed my brain about Mr. Manjar. So it says, Britain is broken. The left thought they had won in Hungary. Instead, they just got a younger Viktor Orban. And actually, Laura Ingram posted this on her Twitter account. Quote, Hungary will not, this is what Peter Manjar wrote or said, Hungary will not accept any migration pact. In fact, I'm going to reinforce the border fence even more. Peter Manjar will do a great job in charge in Hungary. So again, did Viktor Orban personally put this young guy in because he felt that the people of Hungary were going to vote him out because he's been there for 16 years? So he's like, well, I don't want someone in there who's the total opposite, because they really don't have a, quote, Democrat party in Hungary. They don't. Like the liberals in Hungary are like 4%. They're very low. So again, this guy worked for Viktor Orban. He just branched out of his party like last year, or maybe a couple of years ago, 2 years ago in 2024. But he still has the same thinking, the same principles, the same mindset, because he knows that if he allows the country of Hungary to fall, it's going to ruin a lot of businesses. It's going to become Spain and France and UK. And remember, Hungary still goes by the original currency. Cost of living there is much cheaper than living in Spain or France. And again, Hungary had a very strong relationship with President Trump, with Netanyahu. We want to keep that up. We want to keep those relationships flowing. Again, Hungary is a NATO ally to the United States. President Trump's talking about pulling out of NATO, or not working with NATO, or only working with NATO allies that support America. And we want Hungary to continue to be one of those countries that works with America and works with Israel. So I hope and I pray that this young kid is an Orban 2.0. I hope that this kid says what he's going to do. And if he says that he's going to accept or not accept any migration pact, or not work with the EU, not give arms to Ukraine, not work with Brussels, Belgium, let's see. Let's see what he's going to do when he gets reelected. But again, I'm very upset that Viktor Orban didn't win re-election, but we have to find out if this was a good thing or a bad thing. So before we go into our next segment, don't forget our affiliate sponsor, Richardson Nutritional Center, rncstore.com/ALL. Don't forget to use the QR code ALL. If you don't use ALL, you don't get 10% off. So use ALL, get 10% off. The more you spend, the more you get off. We'll be right back after the break.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Alexandra Levine Live with the America's Pulse Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Substack, True Social, Instagram. We are on 15 different connections. We are very easy to find. So this is a big thing that's been happening between President Trump and the Pope. And the reason that the president's coming so hard on the Pope is the Pope is praising Islamicism. He's praising the Muslim community in Iran, and he's praising all of these. Like, he's not working with the United States. He's not working in the best interests of his country, of Italy, and he's basically like praising, the main people in Iran, and that President Trump is trying to negotiate with. Like, he's praising like the Islamic terrorists, and it's a big, huge thing. And President Trump is saying the Pope is saying we can't, we shouldn't stop the war. Da, 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 da. I mean, like, he wants this to go on, but he's like on the side of like the terrorists. Like, it's a real problem here. And President Trump has every right to call anybody out that is bashing America, bashing Trump's policies. It's his right. He's the president of the United States. And the Pope is not supposed to be involved in this. The Pope is supposed to like sit back and chill. And he's not. And it's a problem. And it's pissing President Trump off, and it's pissing a lot of people off. But of course, we have a lot of Christians, got a lot of Catholics in this world, and they don't like the president going after Pope Leo. They don't like it at all. They think that he should like back off of him and not act like he's, superior to him. A lot of Christians and Catholics feel that the Pope is like one step to Jesus. So that's why they're like, President Trump, just don't do this. But let's put up the first slide. So this has been a very controversial truth that President Trump put up there. President Trump took it down because he had so much pressure to take it down. Now, President Trump did not create this picture. This was a guy named Nick Adams who has posted a lot of pictures about Trump. Now, I'm going to tell you my interpretation of this picture. You can agree or disagree with me. This is my opinion. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and everyone looks at art differently. But I do not see President Trump being Jesus in this picture like a lot of people think. That's not Jeffrey Epstein in the hospital bed. That's just a regular average person with a nurse to the right, and probably his son, the guy in the bed's son to the left. And then it shows the military with the Statue of Liberty. And then it does show the bald eagle. It shows the American flag. It does show pictures of demons up at the very top, which is like, representations of hell. So I feel that President Trump, he's looking down upon that guy who's sick. He could be dying or whatever. And he's touching his head, giving him a blessing to heal him. It's called we say in Hebrew, refuah shaleva mishaberach, a prayer for healing. President Trump is known to be a healer of the country, healer of the people, healer of the world. That's not Jesus Christ, everybody. It's depicting him as saving this man. And if the man does die, doesn't want him to go to hell, he wants him to go to heaven. But that's not a depiction of him being Jesus. And they're like, oh, well, he's wearing a cloak like Jesus Christ. Well, there's a lot of angels that wear cloaks too. Angels actually dressed up as human beings. You didn't even know they were angels, and they would come visit you. I'm a big proponent of believing in angels. I think there's angels everywhere. I feel I see angels around me all the time. I talk to a person and they give me some advice on something, or they know who I am in 2 seconds, and I never see them again. And I feel like, oh my God, that must have been an angel that came visiting. Angels come when you least expect it. But I feel that President Trump has been an angel to the American people. I feel like President Trump has tried to heal and has healed this country. So I look at him as a healer in that picture. Me as a Jew, I'm not offended by this picture, and none of you should be offended by him either if you're Christian or Catholic. So the fact that everybody ganged up on President Trump for this picture, the fact that people did not interpret it properly or were too emotional and jumped the gun before they took a step back and peeled the layers and really, really understood what this picture is about. Again, too many people in this industry are way too damn emotional. And that's why they're not in office. And that's why they shouldn't run for public office or should never be. When you are emotional in this business, you fail. It's about logic. And President Trump was just posting something that a guy, Nick Adams, painted of him. He didn't mean to take the place of Jesus Christ or any of that. So people that went hysterical over this picture, really take a look at it, really study it, peel back the layers, understand where President Trump was coming from, or Nick Adams was coming from with this portrait. Again, I look at President Trump in a different way than this picture. It's not because I vehemently support him. It's because you can blatantly see he's not Jesus Christ here. He doesn't even look like Jesus Christ there. Not even close. In my opinion, President Trump is more of a Moses, a Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, his job was to bring the Jewish people to the promised land, to listen to the words of God, to bring down the 10 Commandments, law and order, as he did, and to do everything he could to help the Jewish people of Egypt. Because Moses himself was a Jew. He didn't know that until later. And time will tell. Time will tell. What's going to happen to this country later? I would love President Trump to stay there as long as he can. I really would. But again, I've seen so many people turn on President Trump, people that were like vehemently hardcore supporters that would go to every rally and say they love Trump. To be honest with you, when you turn on someone like that, you don't really love the person. I think in the back of your mind, you secretly didn't like the guy. And it's coming out now. Because if you really support President Trump, if you're really loyal to him, you don't turn your back on him. I didn't turn my back on him when I saw this picture, but a lot of hardcore Trump supporters did. They were too hysterical with this, and they didn't think logically. They thought with emotion. And if I was Christian, I wouldn't be offended by this picture either. Let's go to the next slide. So the next slide actually talks about the issue that President Trump has with Pope Leo. He said Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services, even when going outside and being 10 and even 20 feet apart. I like his brother Louis much better than I like him because Louis is all MAGA. He gets it and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want a pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers into our country. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected to do in a landslide, setting record low numbers in crime, creating the greatest stock market in history. Leo should be thankful because everyone knows he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on the list to be pope, was only put there by the Christian because he was an American. And they thought that that would be the best way to deal with President Trump. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. I agree with that. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons, does not sit well with me. Nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left, who was one of those who wanted churchgoers and clerks to be arrested. Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense, stop catering to the radical left, and focus on being a great Pope, not a politician. It's hurting him very badly. And more importantly, it's hurting the Catholic Church. President Donald Trump. I couldn't agree with President Trump more. I could not agree with President Trump more. Everybody thought, oh, Leo is an American. He'll be good. He'll be much better. No, he's siding with the radical left. He's being political. That's what happens when you bring politics into the church or into the synagogue. I mean, me personally, I only go to a synagogue where they aren't biased and they don't attack President Trump. I mean, the Chabads that I go to, they talk about the portion of the week. Now they do talk about Iran, and they do talk about how, you know, we want the Jewish people to be safe, and we're hoping for the Moshiach to come, or the Moshiach has already come and needs to come again. Or we're waiting. I mean, Jewish people are still waiting for the Messiah. We're still waiting. And it's going to be an environmental force. And it's about that connection with God too. That's what they talk about Chabad. But no, you go to the Vatican, you go to a left-wing synagogue, or you go to a left-wing church, and all they do is attack President Trump. I'll never forget when I was in D.C. for Yom Kippur, I'll make this final point, that at the very end, when we repented for our sins, the rabbi gave us the priestly benediction, the prayer, and said, I pray that President Trump doesn't become president. I pray that Netanyahu doesn't become the prime minister. This was right after Yom Kippur, after we repented for our sins. I never went to that synagogue ever again. But why would you bring politics into a Yom Kippur service after we've been fasting all day? Why would you do that and get us all angry and upset? What was the purpose of that? I asked for my money back, actually, because I had to pay for a ticket to go. But I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why these people think it's okay because they're popes or they're rabbis, why they think it's okay to attack the President of the United States. It's not. It's really not. The President of the United States is in charge of every single congregant, every single person of the nation. Maybe if they came and met President Trump, they wouldn't think this way or feel this way. But I agree with President Trump on here. I'm glad that he called the Pope out, and he will call anybody out that attacks him and supports radical Islam and radical left-wing lunatics, as President Trump calls it. Before we take our next break, don't forget we have another sponsor, FoliumPX.org. FoliumPX toxic heavy metals, full body detox, free radical support. This is great for the body. This is great after going through Passover and Easter, just detoxing your body from all of that matzah, from all of that unleavenedness, all those disgusting kosher for Passover cakes that are nasty. And this also detoxes you from the ham and the bacon and the heavy meal that you had for Easter. So go to FoliumPX.com, use that QR code, get a little bit of a discount, and we'll be right back, guys, after the break. Well, hello, everyone. Hello, this is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. I'm sorry a little bit for that pause. Maybe Eric Swalwell was watching my show, and he didn't like what I was about to say. Oh, well. Well, as you know, the gubernatorial race, there was like so many people that were running on the Democratic side, and they kept asking Eric Swalwell to get out of the race. Well, he wouldn't get out. So the Democrats had to orchestrate a way to get him out. Now, Eric Swalwell basically screwed himself with all these videos coming out of him, all these women coming out saying that he sexually assaulted them, to the point where a minor, someone who was a minor years ago, said, look, this guy, he drugged me, he raped me. I mean, this is getting pretty aggressive and it's getting pretty seedy. Now, there was one girl who went on camera. She said in 2018, I was at a political event with him. He was my buddy. I worked with him. He was great. And she blatantly thinks he drugged her drink. She said, I was walking down his hotel room and all of a sudden I felt like lopsided and loopy and all that stuff. She enters his room and she says when she's in the room with him, he gets very handsy with her. He rapes her. He chokes her to the point where she thought she was going to die. I think she was like unconscious for a moment. Maybe she died for a moment. And then it was all over. Now, this was in 2018. So why is she coming out with this now? At the evening in question, they said she went to the police, she checked it at the hospital, but she did not request a rape kit. So how do we know it was even him? How do we know it was his semen? And again, she didn't see him drug her. So she's assuming he drugged her. And we're all assuming that it was him that did it. But there's blatant videos of him kissing young girls, kissing prostitutes in hotel rooms. I mean, this guy just keeps getting better and better. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, he just literally is hanging himself with all of this stuff to the point where not only did he suspend his gubernatorial campaign, but he was asked to be removed from Congress. I'm glad that they removed him. But my question is to his wife, why is she still married to this piece of crap? Then I heard that he doesn't have any money. His whole family, he and his wife are in like $3 million worth of debt, but he barely makes anything. The only thing he has is his congressional salary of $174,000 a year, which is actually lower because of the California taxes. But it's his wife that actually is the breadwinner. His wife is the one that is forking all of the dough for him to just do whatever he wants and spend all this money. So again, why does she stay married to him? If she's got the money, she's got the power. Did they sign a prenup? Who knows? But why would she keep this piece of crap around her? I mean, if that was my husband, I'd be like, peace, we're done. And she's probably humiliated. I think they have like 2 children together. I feel bad for their children. I mean, it's just disgusting. I mean, all these politicians cheat and lie. And Lauren Boebert actually said it on camera. She says, I don't understand what's with these politicians. She's like, you all need Jesus. You need to go to church. I don't know why you're so freaking horny and you can't keep your dick in your pants. That's why I never believe in taking separate vacations. If you're married, I don't believe in husbands and wives being separated for days, weeks, months, because that's how adultery starts. It really does. I've seen it on Capitol Hill. I've seen it in real life. I know everybody's marriage is different. There was a report that Jessica Tarlow had an affair with Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland. She said she was in an open marriage because that's what liberals do. But Jamie Raskin's wife isn't happy about it. And it's funny, Jessica Tarlow's Jewish, so is Jamie Raskin. Her husband's not Jewish, but I guess she wanted to keep it in the faith, so to speak. But why would she have an affair with a guy who's so much older than her and disgusting? For power. She's also a Fox News reporter. I've told this on my program. It's very common for congressmen to sleep with reporters for better press, better PR. Sometimes the congressmen treat the reporters like prostitutes and they pay them for good press. And then they have sex with them. Reports out recently that a sports newscaster was having an affair with a football player. And he's married and she's married. Well, she left her position, and I don't know what's going to happen with the families. It was another like Coldplay concert. And instead, this was in a whole pool scene. Like they were like lounging, I think at a private pool scene, and paparazzi was there and taking pictures of them. And the paparazzi was like, wait a minute, that's not his wife and that's not her husband. Maybe they were sleeping together for his team to get good PR, for him to get good PR. I mean, you can't poo-poo these things. Yes, it's not illegal to cheat on your spouse, but it's against the commandment. Thou shalt not commit adultery. It's disgusting. And if you really can't keep your dick in your pants, then maybe you shouldn't go up to DC. Maybe you shouldn't take separate vacations with her. Maybe you just shouldn't be married. But the fact that these wives or these husbands stay with their spouses is asinine to me. And of course, more information is coming about Kristi Noem and her husband and how her husband spent all this money dressing up in drag, paying all of these women, these OnlyFans women, money for their plastic surgeries, money for their jewelry, whatever they wanted. He was like a sucker for them. He even paid for them to enhance their breasts even more than they're already enhanced. I mean, what kind of husband is this? I mean, I understand that his wife was no good either. She's a freaking whore, cheating on her husband, Corey Lewandowski, but that doesn't give you the right to act like an idiot and a moron too. I mean, maybe he did this to get back at her. Maybe this was some type of revenge. Maybe he was going through a midlife crisis. But you just divorce your spouse. That's all you have to do. And people are like, well, divorce is tough. It's expensive. There's kids involved, blah, 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 blah. But save yourself the pain and save yourself the smear. Save yourself the political smear. Why stay with jerks? If you know your spouse is cheating on you, get out of the marriage. Why stay? Why stay? And deal with the humiliation later. And these people that cheat, they eventually do get caught. They think that they don't get caught, but they will eventually. I mean, there's been reports that people have had affairs for 20-something years. It's actually the women that cheat on their husbands more than the men. And they find ways to hide it. I don't know how a woman could look herself in the eye and go home to her husband and kids when she has had another man's genitalia inside her. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. How can a woman just look at herself in the mirror and hold her head up high like everything in her life is good? How can she do that to her husband and family? How could a man, an elected official, go home to his wife and kids after he has just screwed his intern or his secretary or some random chick he met online? How can he hold his head up high and look at himself in the mirror? Tony Gonzalez, Congressman of California, he was removed from Congress as well because he had an affair with, I think it was his intern or someone that worked under him, and she committed suicide. Again, how could Tony Gonzalez's wife stay with him? Your husband cheated on you with some God knows what. Maybe the girl has diseases. I know stories of that where the husbands like cheat on their wives and then, they're still screwing their wives. And then the wives are like, wait a minute, why do I have an STD? Why do I have a UTI? Why do I have ovarian cancer? Why do I have rectal cancer? Like, what's going on here? Why do I have AIDS, HIV? Yeah, because your husband's screwing around on you. It's very sad that this is happening in our country. It's very sad that you think you know your husband and you really don't, or your wife. It's very sad that this is becoming more acceptable, but I'm glad that Congress is holding these people accountable. I'm glad that people are taking marriage very. So there you have it. So as I said, he suspended his campaign for California governor amid furor over sex assault allegations. But not only did he suspend his campaign, but Congress actually voted him out. So he's removed from Congress. And so is Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas. Swalwell, as we call him, Smallville, or Eric Swallows, is a disgusting piece of crap. And he actually had the audacity to criticize President Trump when President Trump was getting completely, or he was completely lied about with these like 37 or whatever fake women that said President Trump assaulted them or whatever. This guy actually assaulted them. We have video of them. We have it's multiple messages of him sexually harassing women, sexually assaulting them, and so forth. We don't have the proof of the rape, and we won't because that happened many, many years ago. And there's questions about that. And I can tell you the attorney that these women are using is a woman named Lisa Bloom. Lisa Bloom is a ballbuster. She is the daughter of Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred has worked with some of these women that have committed affairs, or I would say the other woman, so to speak. Gloria Allred has ruined people's lives. So is Lisa Bloom. They're not exactly honest attorneys here. And Lisa Bloom is all about the victims. But Lisa Bloom also tells her victim, her clients, what to say. So does Gloria Allred. Sometimes these stories are very asinine and off the wall, and there's like missing timelines to it and missing details. A lot of people thought it was very odd that this woman who did the press conference, she was reading off a piece of paper about what happened. Well, I guess she was just gathering her thoughts, but I honestly believe that Lisa Bloom probably told her what to say in front of the camera. So we'll find out if these allegations are true. A lot of people believe them. I believe them. I believe that Eric Swalwell is a piece of crap. And again, if I was his wife, I would completely divorce him. Let's go to the second slide. This is by David Harris Jr. Said, husband of influencer threatens lawsuit against Eric Swalwell, claims he once sent his wife unsolicited nudes and showed up at her home. Adam Parkhomenkos, I'm probably butchering that last name, wife Ali Samarco, says Swalwell would go on runs in her neighborhood and tell her to come downstairs. She also says Swalwell would send her inappropriate messages and photos on Snapchat. Samarco's husband is threatening a lawsuit against Swalwell if he makes a single statement that disparages his wife. But if Eric Swalwell or his attorney make a single statement that disparages my wife, I'll be filing a lawsuit against them, Parkhomenkos said. I've already made clear that if he believes anything I've said is untrue, he should sue me immediately. Well, my question to my audience is, why is Eric Swalwell or why is any of these congressmen, giving out their personal cell phone numbers out to these random people, whether it's reporters or so forth? And why do they not realize that sending dick pics or whatever, that's not erasable? And we saw with Anthony Weiner, how he showed pictures of himself to other people through his government phone. Why are these people so stupid? They're idiots. They're idiots. Do they not? Again, they don't think they're going to get caught because they're Congress people. They think they're above the law. I'm glad he's getting caught. I'm glad he's being held accountable. And now let's go to the third slide. So this one's interesting. So former Ruben Galeo, who is the senator in Arizona, who is apparently his friend. So former Ruben Galeo staffer says she rejected his sexual advance reported to chief of staff and was fired in retaliation. She was expected to fully expose Ruben Galeo very soon. Congress has whispered about this for years. Now it's explained just as his buddy Swalwell and blows. When will Galeo resign? So Galeo goes on, national news, and he basically, he condemns his friend, quote, Eric Swalwell, and he says that he's known about Eric Swalwell's cheating and shenanigans for years, that he's very flirty, and he says we will investigate him to the fullest extent of the law. This is supposed to be his, quote, friend. But then after Ruben Galeo, says this on camera, his former staffer exposed Mr. Galeo and said she rejected his sexual advance. And I'm telling you, these congressmen, they try to seduce their staffers. They try to seduce their interns. They're very inappropriate. I personally have been hit on by a lot of married men on Capitol Hill. It's disgusting as hell. And I've been hit on by former campaign managers. It's disgusting. And these men are very married with children. That's why I really think about sending your husband or wife to Congress, because there's a lot of, quote, temptation. But the question is, why should there be temptation? When you take your solemn vow to your spouse, it's supposed to be forever, for better or worse. If you guys are having marital problems, you work it out before you stick your genitalia in someone else's. Oh, well, that's easy. That's free. It's okay. It's a one-time thing. Oh, everybody does it. Let's join the screw other people's spouses club or screw around club. That's why Lauren Boebert made the statement today. So what we're showing is that instead of the congressmen or the people that you vote for actually going up to Capitol Hill and doing their job, they're literally screwing the people, and they're screwing people that aren't their wives. Is that what you want in your congressman or senator? You want someone that commits infidelity and doesn't care? Or does it for years and doesn't care until it's too late and they get caught? You're a public figure. When you're a congressman or senator, people are watching you. You're a public figure. When you text someone, it is saved. If you put it on Signal, Telegraph, whatever, WhatsApp, it's still saved. When you put it on a government phone, it's even more saved. You will get caught. There will be consequences. So do yourself a favor. How about you just don't cheat on your spouse, and then you don't have to worry about this crap? How about you keep it in your pants? And if you are the type of person that does cheat on their spouse or think it's okay, then maybe you shouldn't be a public figure, or maybe you just shouldn't be married. I've talked to people who had an affair for a year and then they stopped, and then they had an affair several years later. It's all bad. There's no excuse for it. I mean, whatever you do behind closed doors is your business. But when this is happening on the people's dime, it's a problem. It's a huge problem. Let's put up the fourth slide. So the fourth slide. So this was a new video that came out. It did go viral. of Eric Swalwell allegedly kissing a woman in a hotel room who's not his wife. And that's kind of how this whole thing spiraled with him in his political career. That woman is a prostitute. There was another guy sitting on the bed. There was people filming it. I mean, is he that stupid? People are filming this. Does he not think he's going to get exposed? Does he not think anything's going to happen to him? And he did this while he was married. He's a piece of crap. Again, these men of power, because they're congressmen or senators, they feel that they can do this crap and get away with it. Or they say to the women they're having an affair with, if you tell my wife or tell this person, that person, I'll ruin your life and your career. Which is all BS, by the way. If you see something, say something. If you're a victim of this, don't wait. Tell someone right away. If you've been sexually harassed or assaulted, or if you've been put in an uncomfortable position, it's best to say something right away. I know women are scared. I know people are scared to come out for fear of their lives being ruined or for fear of them being killed. But if you don't say anything, then we don't know until it's too late. Because the thing is, when that idiot gets caught once, he'll continue to do it. That's why you have to expose him immediately so that you can actually save other men and women for being victims to this crap. And when a woman says no, she means no. And there's a big difference between sexual assault and consent. Big difference. But also, I say to these women, don't be alone with a congressman or a senator. Watch your drink. Make sure you're in a public space. Don't go back to their hotel room. That's just dumb. And if you feel like you're coming down with something, like if you feel someone drugged you, the last thing to do is go into a person's hotel room, because then you are subject to being raped. There's some vulnerability there. Make sure you bring a buddy with you. You have a buddy system. And these congressmen and senators know what they're doing too. They know when they're taking advantage or not. Again, they feel that they're men with power and that they can do whatever they want. Don't let them. Don't let them. This is a lesson to everyone. But I'm glad that the Republicans are holding these people to the fire. I'm glad that these people are getting removed from office, a Democrat and a Republican. My question is, who's the next person to go? What's the next affair we're going to find? Is there any more? Are there more coming? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to ruin your marriage. It's not worth it to ruin your life. If you can't keep your dick in your pants, if you can't keep your body parts in your pants, then A, you shouldn't be married, or B, maybe you shouldn't be in the public eye. But this is something that should be in the public eye. This is something that I advocate for. As you know, end Jew hatred and combating anti-Semitism is my life's work. And I was honored and asked to sing for this event coming up April 29th in the Ohio area in a place called Solon, which is a beautiful area. And this is the promotional event for that. So it's the second annual End Jew Hatred Day. It's in Cleveland. It's Wednesday, April 27th from 5 to 7:30 at the Solon Veterans Memorial Park in Solon, Ohio, which is a very beautiful area. We have some great sponsors. We have the Grand Coffee that's sponsoring, newish matzo ball soup. I'm so excited to try. You can actually get that in grocery stores. And the Lawfare Project, which is run by my good friend Brooke Goldstein and my friend Jan Z, who works with Brooke Goldstein. They're having a huge End Jew Hatred in New York. This is a nationwide day event. So every End Jew Hatred chapter is having an event Wednesday, April 29th. So if you're in the Solon area, Beechwood area, Cuyahoga County, if you are near this area, I encourage you all to come. It's going to be a huge event. It's getting a lot of buzz. We have 4 very powerful speakers of all different races, religions, and creeds. It is a nonpartisan event. It is actually a bipartisan event. And bring your American flags, bring your Israeli flags. Let's end Jew hatred, because we have to. We really do. And we get a lot of Christians that come to this event too. We have Christians that are speaking at this event. So please, guys, go to endjewhatred.com, look up a chapter near you, and you can see what time this event is and where in your area, because it's different times in different areas. And of course, we are in campaign mode. And there's another flyer of it as well. It's a commemoration on this very special day, April 29th, Wednesday, April 29th. So as you know, we're in campaign mode. I'm a political consultant. I'm a consulting firm. The first guy that I work with and promote always is my good friend Tim Fazenbaker, running for the new Council District 9. Is the very MAGA America First District. It is Dundalk. It is Edgemere. It is a little bit of Rosedale. It's Sparrows Point. And it's a very heavy MAGA area. And Tim Fazenbaker is the one to win. And he's kicking butt. And he just came out with some really great flyers. I'll have to put up a flyer next week. That's getting a lot of buzz in the area. Or not flyers, I'm sorry, mailers. He's kicking mailers. And mailers are not cheap, guys. So this guy's got the money for big signs, billboards, mailers, whatever he's got to do. He's got the money for it. People are pouring the money to him because they know he's going to win. So go to timfazenbaker.com and give him a donation. Give him a donation today. It's very important that we donate to great candidates, America First candidates. So it's tim@timfazenbaker.com. So actually that's his email, tim@timfazenbaker.com. timfazenbaker.com is the website to give a donation. And then we have our good friend Kimberly Stansberry, who's running for Baltimore County Executive. She's kicking butt as well. She's also on that mailer with Tim. Go to electkimstansberry.org. She is the only woman running for Baltimore County Executive. If she wins, she will be the first woman duly elected Baltimore County Executive in the history of Baltimore County. So that's exciting. And we see a lot of women in these like local roles and these major roles. She'll be controlling the entire county of Baltimore County. Awesome woman, awesome lady, great for our veterans, just a wonderful person. electkimstansberry.org. Of course, we have our good friend Daniel Eisenhart. He is running in a contested primary against a rhino named Salling, who is actually under investigation right now. Mr. Salling does not live in his district. It's against the law. It's against state law. You have to, if you're running for state office, you must live in your district. And Mr. Salling does not. And he hasn't lived in his district in a long time. So please, guys, I know we have Mr. Eisenhart's website in the QR code. I think my producer's looking for it right now. There it is. Candidate for State Senate District 6. He's priming out a rhino who is under investigation right now. You don't want to vote for someone who's under investigation. You want to vote for someone who lives in the district, who loves the people of his district. And Daniel does. And he's a great guy, great person. And actually, Tim Fazenbaker recruited him. And he's just kicking butt, and people are loving him. So please, guys, go to Daniel Eisenhart's QR code, make a donation to him, and he will be door knocking and coming to a door near you. And then, of course, there's my friend Sam Rosenblum, who's running for candidate for Frederick County School Board. He's been on my network as well, samforschoolboard.com. Awesome guy, really wants to help our kids. And he's working with another school board member, Colt Black, in Frederick County. Very important, guys, that we have proper people in the school board and not woke people that run the school board. Then we have a contested primary of my good friend Marcel Sturbeck. The early voting has already started in Ohio. It is for an entire month. Get out there and vote for Marcel Sturbeck. He's awesome. Veteran, great family. He's making a lot of buzz. He's endorsed by Ohio voters. He's endorsed by a lot of big groups in the Ohio area. He's running for Ohio Secretary of State. That is his QR code. Again, early voting has already started in Ohio. Get out there and vote for this man and get him get him over the hump and let him beat the establishment. Let him beat the establishment. He's raised actually a significant amount of money for someone who's never run for office before. And we want to get him in because he's a great guy and he's been on my network as well. Or my program, excuse me. Then we have Julie Spivey Perry, candidate for U.S. Congress, Virginia District 10. She says that her district is the one that will flip Republican. We hope so, because there's so many Democrats that run Virginia, and Virginia is just getting worse every day. So if we can get a good, proper MAGA person in Congress that will work with President Trump and will push his agenda forward, let's do it. So that's her QR code, Julie Spivey Perry. We'll have her back on the show right before the primary. Then we have Justin Murphy, who's awesome. He's running for U.S. Senate. He's been touring all over the state of New Jersey. I see him in all these different events, all these forums. He's kicking butt. And he's getting the word out there. And he's just an awesome guy. He's been on the pulse with us many times. He's been on my program. I will have him on the program right before the primary. He's on the ballot. He got the signatures that he needed. We just got to get him there. We got to get him to win that primary. So jerseyjustinforsenate.org. And then, of course, we have our friend Damon Galdo, who's running for Congress in District 1. And he is the host of the Jersey Shore on Monday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. He is working so hard on his campaign. He's working with Justin. He's working with Constance and Jack Brangan and other people to get him into the general. He won the primary because he's running unopposed, but we got to get him to the general. And he got the signatures to be on the ballot. Thank God, that was a whole mess. So now it's time to give him a donation, help him out. VoteDamonGaldo.com. That's VoteDamonGaldo.com. And then, of course, we have our very good friend Seth Eisenberg. He's been having issues with his foot for, oh my God, over a year now. He's having issues with his thyroid. And we need to help him. You know, I heard he may be going under major surgery soon. So we really need to help him. He's got a kid, or he's got kids, excuse me. He's got kids, got a kid living with him. He's got other people in his household that he is close with and helping out. So now it's time for us to get back to him. So please, guys, go to GoFundMe.com/Jonah/Overcome/Health//crisis, I can't even speak, and donate to him today. It is time to get back to our veterans. And of course, guys, don't forget we have The Pulse every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m., sometimes till 9:30. You never know who our host is going to be or our special guests are going to be, so please join us. It is a great show. We've been doing it for a year now. Awesome show, awesome guests. We also have a new show, the New Jersey State House Watch, which is 2 Tuesdays of the month during my program, or during my time slot, I should say. So they're from 7:30 to 8:30, 2 Tuesdays of the month. I think their next show, I want to say, is April 28th. They're usually on, I think, the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of the month. So don't forget to check them out. They're doing really great. And then, of course, we have the Jersey Shore every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. with Damon Galdo. And, of course, you have me, Alexandra Levine. I'm on every other Tuesday on the America's Pulse Network, and every Thursday night when I'm not having connection issues on the America's Pulse Network. Yes, we did have to pre-tape the show tonight because of connection issues, but we will be back live next week. Next week is going to be very interesting shows because we have people from Hungary that are going to come on my show. They're going to explain the elections. They're going to explain what's going on over there, how they feel about the new prime minister coming in, if he's going to be the same as Orban, worse, better. We don't know, but it's very good to get the Hungarian people's perspective of what is going on over there, because I loved Hungary when I was there. I want to go back. So I hope and pray that they will give me some good news about how the country is going forward. The Hungarian people love that I'm personally taking out the time to care about their country, because again, they are a NATO ally of us, but they love the fact that President Trump and General and J.D. Vance and some Americans are taking the time out to invest in them and work with them and talk about them and just love them, basically. And that's going to be interesting, coming up in the next week or so, and we'll keep you posted on that. But again, guys, thank you for watching. As you know, we are live on 15 Connections. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, we're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on True Social, we're on Substack, we're on Spotify, we're on Instagram, we're on Parler, TikTok, we're on so many different networks, Connections. Just like and subscribe us at America's Pulse Network. And of course, you can always message me. I'm very flexible at Alexandra Levine on Facebook, at A.L.L Levine 85 on TikTok, on Instagram, on True Social, on Parler, and of course at Alexandra Levi 20 on X. Thank you guys so much for listening. And the reason you listen, the reason you watch, is you are no idiot.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House
House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Alexandra, thanks you for watching tonight's Alexandra Levine live podcast. See you at the next packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you like what the Alexandra talks about, then share the Alexandra